There are a lot of bad albums, quite a few good albums, but not many perfect albums. So it's all opinion, of course, it's subjective. But here's my 2 cents, or shillings, because some of them are British. I do consider Abbey Road to be a perfect album, Octopus's Garden aside, just because George's guitar work is so far above and beyond, it saves that one. And instead of being just a great album, it's a perfect album. A surprise one to me, even. I heard the other day again, Moontan by Golden Earring. Radar Love gets all the love, but guess what? Every track is brilliant. And Romantic Warrior, not for everyone, but Return to Forever, just the top musicians on the planet. The songwriting is the best they ever did, in my opinion. Just a perfect album, the production, the sound, everything. Not a big John Wetton fan, but King Crimson's Red was his peak, if you ask me again. Perfect album, as was In the Court of the Crimson King. Jeff Beck had a few, of course. Blow by Blow gets all the love, but Guitar Shop, Emotion and Commotion, and Live at Ronnie Scott's are perfect albums. Truth and Beckola are up there. One by The Who is Who's Next. They could have even done better with extra credit if they'd had Pure and Easy on that masterpiece, but I'll still call it perfect. Deep Purple had two with different singers, Machine Head and Burn, both well worth having in your collection. Yes has a ton of great albums, but Close to the Edge is a perfect album. 1983 was great for Dire Straits. Their top of the heap, if you ask me, musically, is Love Over Gold. Just a guitar extravaganza, beautiful sound, phenomenal writing, and listen to it at night. I highly recommend. All right, Badfinger had Straight Up and Wish You Were Here. Just two perfect albums. You can play them back to back. That's fantastic. Joni Mitchell had a couple. A lot of people, I don't know why they wouldn't like it, but I think they're perfect. The Hissing of Summer Lawns and Hejira are perfect albums, and they go together well. Seal had his 1991 and 94 self-titled albums. Flawless. Even Genesis, who I'm not the biggest fan of, had Trick of the Tail, plus, and then there were three. Doesn't get any better than that. Amy Winehouse had Back to Black, and her first album, not released here, was Frank, and they're perfect albums. Little Feat, they get a lot of attention for other albums, but to me, Feats Don't Fail Me Now. It's Lowell George's masterpiece. And leads to Carly Simon, who Little Feat and the Doobie Brothers backed up as her backing band on several albums, like No Secrets and Hot Cakes. One called Another Passenger, Boys in the Trees. Hello, Big Man, they weren't on, but the reggae guys from Jamaica were. And it was a great album. Letters Never Sent, 1995, terrific album. There's a local Monterey band who made a perfect album. You just don't pick a song. You listen to the whole thing beginning to end as a unit. They were called The Lock, featuring Nancy Jones. Led Zeppelin, of course, the first 5 albums, in my opinion. A lot of people would say 6. Sade's first 4 albums, The Doors' first 2 and last 2 were perfect. And funny, an album like Let It Be isn't perfect, but it gets a lot of flack, which is crazy for a song that has Get Back, Two of Us, One After 909, I've Got a Feeling, The Long and Winding Road, I Me Mine, Across the Universe, and the title song, and it still gets complained about. Huh? Yeah, you make an album that good. Well, there must be more, but we'll get to them later. Fire and Water by Free, 1970, a total masterpiece. And check for yourself. In case you're looking for some new music, maybe look in the past. 1970 was a surprisingly good year. The 60s didn't end in December of 69. They went extinct in 1974, if you ask me. But 70 was a good middle point. A lot of my favorite albums to this day came out that year, especially Black Sabbath's first album, Freeze, Fire and Water, which I think is better than every Bad Company album put together. Live at Leeds, doesn't get better than that. Grand Funk Railroad's masterpiece, Closer to Home. The Shocking Blue had the hit Venus, but every song on their album that year was terrific. And say McCartney's first solo album, Let It Be, pretty good. Got a few hits on it. Glass Harp, James Gang, a lot of first and second albums there. Layla, wow. All Things Must Pass, Mad Dogs and Englishmen, woo. Joe Cocker's a guy to look up his whole discography if you haven't. Deja Vu, CSNY, Morrison Hotel, first Emerson, Lake and Palmer album, Hendrix's Band of Gypsies, all new songs on a live album. Led Zeppelin 3, got a lot of flack at the time. I still think it's one of my favorites. After the Gold Rush, one of the best Neil Young records. Jethro Tull's Benefit, just before their big run of Aqualung and Thick as a Brick. Bridge Over Troubled Water, last Simon & Garfunkel album. Elton's masterpiece, Tumbleweed Connection. And Traffic, boy, the start of something big coming up for them was John Barleycorn Must Die, the predecessor to Low Spark. Anyway, that's pop and rock. You can look for Motown, country. They had plenty of their own hits in that year. So check out 1970. Pretty good year for some new music for you, old timers and young timers.